Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the LoudCasa Talks. My name is Nate, alongside my good buddy Omid.
Hey, what's up, loud crowd?
And,
how y'all doing?
And it's actually pretty interesting. We're actually live at Omid's place right now. We're actually doing it face-to-face together, finally meeting up and doing a podcast together.
Yep, we're both in the same room as of right now.
Yeah, it's crazy because we really live close to each other. We just never had the chance to actually, had a podcast where we can actually, meet up together and actually do it right here in your place. So,
but here we are.
Yeah, because if you have been noticing our last podcast, we've always been in and out, cut off, that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure that issue is resolved. So we'll have it here.
Yeah, some of the times, my voice gets cut, so it gets so awkward to hear me say stuff in the previous podcast because of it.
Yeah. All right. So, well, first off, I want to give you guys, I'm having Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Hope you guys had a very Merry Christmas. How did your Christmas go, Omid?
My Christmas went very well. So after work, I came home for Christmas, and I celebrated it with my mom, her boyfriend, and his family. So we celebrated by having dinner. We had some Christmas ham and some lasagna.
Oh, God. Did you actually
yes.
implement the lasagna here?
We're calling it lasagna. I don't care what anyone says. And also, we did a white elephant gift exchange.
Oh, nice. So, for me, I just usually went to my aunt's house, got our gifts there. I didn't realize that my aunt gave me a lot of good gifts. There's this one anime shirt that I put it up on my Facebook, and it was actually pretty funny how she knows about my anime life now.
Yeah,
and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Your aunt knows your taste very well.
Well, that shirt, Omid will probably attest, he actually knows the anime character that was on it, so.
Yes. Lucky Star! I love that show.
Yeah, there was a lot of good gifts, and then you also gave me a gift too when I visited your place back in Christmas.
Yes, I did. And I know your taste as well.
So you gave me a We Bare Bears plushie, which is cute. Really nice.
Yes, it was. And actually, here's a little funny thing. I actually have the exact same plushie on my own.
Really? So you went to buy it over at Mimiso and, decided to buy it for me also?
Both copies, one for each.
That's not bad. And I gave you a Todoroki figure too, so.
And you know my taste as well. We both know each other very well. I mean, we know each other for decades, so of course he would give me a Best Boy, My Hero Academia Todoroki action figurine. And also, well, technically not best team at the moment, but my favorite NBA team, Golden State Warriors shirt.
Maybe not your favorite NBA team.
No, I mean, not best, but still my favorite.
That's still best. What's your best team then?
I mean, Warriors are not doing good right now.
Okay, but you have to stick with your Warriors, right?
I'm always going to stick with my Warriors, but the thing is, we suck right now.
Okay, yeah, but I still stick with the Kings, and they suck right now. Okay, anyways, we're getting off topic here. Anyways, let's go to the recent news that has been going around in the Loud House Casa Grande community. Alright, so Lincoln and Ronnie Ann just had a new vlog as they came out prepping up for their Christmas special. They talked about their holiday traditions, how they made each other ugly sweaters, and what they give for each relatives at Christmas. So, Omid, what holiday traditions do you partake in with your family?
Well, I do Christmas with my mom, her boyfriend, and his family, just like I did 2 days ago. That's a Christmas tradition for me. And also for Thanksgiving, every year I go to my family friend's place for turkey, mashed potatoes, and all the good stuff. And finally, since I am Iranian, we celebrate Iranian New Year, which occurs every March.
Oh, really? Wait, Iranian New Year, it doesn't happen in Christmas time, though, right?
No, it like I said, it happens in March.
Okay.
It happens so in spring, pretty much.
So that's your tradition. Wait, so I thought you had your own Christmas tradition, so you had your own white elephant giveaway. That's just pretty cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those are the 3 that I celebrate yearly as a tradition.
See, you have a lot of Christmas traditions, and for me, I'm just visiting people. So I visit my aunt, I visit you. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
A lot of family around here in my parts, so... Yeah, that's our Christmas traditions. Not really much for me, but you have a lot, apparently.
You've got some pretty good family reunions as well. Mm-hmm. I remember you went to Nevada recently.
That was Thanksgiving, though, so that's different. This is Christmas time. This is different. So, also, Ronnie Ann and Lincoln, they were also sharing their ideas of ugly sweaters. Are you a fan of the ugly sweaters, by the way?
Yes. I love wearing ugly sweaters. And the thing is that each and every Christmas, I always wear a different ugly Christmas sweatshirt. Like last year, I wore a Home Alone themed Christmas sweatshirt, and in the sweater it says "Merry Christmas, you filthy animal."
Oh yeah, that's a known line for the Home Alone
It's a
series.
classic.
Yeah. I actually do like the ugly sweaters too. I actually have like an Overwatch ugly sweater that only certain people will know. And if I bring it over to work, nobody will know what they're talking about. So yeah, it sucks.
And also this year, I wore a Game of Thrones theme.
Oh yeah, I saw that
ugly
too.
Christmas sweatshirt.
I see a lot of
And
red, blue, and yellow there.
And it says "Joy to the Realm."
No, I don't. I don't watch Game of Thrones, so
I do.
Yes,
Any Game of Thrones fans here?
okay. So yeah, I would say I don't watch Game of Thrones because I don't have HBO, so I cannot be partaking into the Game of Thrones things that everyone's into. So that's fine.
Yeah, fair enough. It's
So,
cool. It's cool.
If you were to make an ugly sweater, what would you add onto yours?
Well, if I were to make an ugly Christmas sweatshirt of my own, it would be, of course, Loud House themed Christmas sweatshirt. And in the center of the sweatshirt, I would have Luna's face imprinted in there because, of course, Luna Loud is my favorite character. And all around the sweatshirt, I would have the lyrics to the Christmas song, "It's not what you give, it's what you give."
That's what Christmas is all about.
That's what Christmas is all about.
Yeah.
And all around the lyrics, I would have the faces of Luna's Loud siblings.
Okay.
And all the Christmas-y stuff like the candy canes and the reindeer.
Nice. So, making it Luna Loud theme. Is it going to be purple?
It is going to be purple. You know it's going to be purple.
Okay.
You know it's...
All right. If I were to make my own sweater, I'll have to make it green because of My Hero Academia is my favorite character. Gotta put some deco in there. Gotta put a little bit of the Loud House too. Gotta put in the logo, Lincoln's face also. Things that I like to say. Video games also. Gotta add that on there too. But to say the least, like ugly sweater wise, it would probably have all of that. So yeah, that's my kind of thing of how I would like to design my ugly sweater.
Very nice.
Yeah.
A Deku Christmas sweatshirt.
Well, I mean, she's green and, Christmassy, so it makes sense to actually blend it in with the theme of Christmas. So if people haven't watched My Hero Academia, please do.
High recommendation, plus ultra.
All right, so overall, that vlog episode 3 was, what do you think? Pretty good?
I actually really enjoyed it. It was nice to see Lincoln and Ronnie Ann being festive, and pretty much they were giving out what they think the Loud siblings Christmas sweatshirts will be. Mm-hmm. Like we saw Luna Loud's Christmas sweatshirt with a rock and roll.
Yeah.
Luann's sweatshirt would be like punny stuff.
Yeah.
And Lori's would be Bobby's.
Just Bobby, yeah.
Just Bobby.
So that's a kind of example. I talk about the gifts because I think that's what Lincoln was talking about. He was saying like, what would he do to give a gift to his siblings, and yeah, that's what he did. Same with Ronnie Ann. She also did her things with her siblings as well.
That too.
Ronnie Ann is a great character. But anyway, yeah, that was pretty much it. It was a holiday themed vlog, which was pretty cool. Plus, now let's actually go into the other thing that actually happened last week. The first episode of the Casa Grandes Familia Sounds podcast came out. Really interesting how the Casa Grandes are running their podcast. The first episode is Ronnie Ann, looking around the whole neighborhood, visiting her aunt and uncle, and of course her abuela and abuelo. Bobby also being around there too. Plus Sid is also with her as well, and she knows ASMR. And I'm like, why? I'm not a fan of ASMR.
Because she said, of course you would know ASMR.
No, ASMR's silent voice is like weird. I don't know, like when I'm listening to ASMR, it's always weird sounds, and I get it. It's supposed to calm you down, but to me, it's creepy. Like, I'll hear cracking sounds. I'm like, wait, you're trying to open a beer bottle? What's going on here? What is this? This doesn't sound like it.
Well, given Sid's kind of a quirky character, sort of, in a sense, a good kind of quirky, a fun kind of quirky, it wouldn't make sense for her to get into ASMR.
Yeah, I think she's getting into the trendy stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
She is a trendy girl. She is a trendy girl.
So let's actually talk review about the Casa Grandes Familia Sounds first episode. What did you think about it?
I absolutely loved it. I was very impressed by how it followed the footsteps of Listen Out Loud, and it perfectly captured all the elements of what made Listen Out Loud so great. Like from the character interactions to the fun facts, and to even how the podcast itself stayed true to the actual show that it's based on.
Nice.
Like, even when you hear it, even when you listen to it, you feel like you're watching the Casa Grandes.
That's the point. That's like the whole point. That Listen Out Loud actually came out with their podcast. It kind of felt the same way. Like, you're listening in, but you kind of imagine that you're watching an episode technically. I know every character in Listen Out Loud did their own podcast, and of course the Casa Grandes probably do the same as well. Which Casa Grande character are you most excited to listen to?
Actually, okay, technically it's not a Casa Grande that I'm the most excited for. It's technically a Chang.
Oh, okay. You want Sid to do
I want a Sid Chang podcast right now. Right now.
But Clyde never had one in Listen Out Loud. Are you thinking that Sid might actually have one?
Clyde's too mad for a podcast.
Wow. You're being critical to Clyde now.
No offense to Clyde fans, but he's okay. Sid Chang, on the other hand, I can actually see her podcast having potential because she could actually talk about K-pop. She could actually talk about 12 is Midnight.
12 is Midnight. That's a good one.
I can actually see that.
I mean, I'll be more excited to see Ronnie Ann, maybe CJ having his own episode as well. He's like, special needs. Yet, the way he can run an episode can be actually really fun to see.
I actually think he could have a podcast of his own, too. I actually want a CJ podcast, too, but with the assistance of Ronnie Ann.
Yeah. I think Ronnie Ann would probably help him out. I mean, he did that in Arg in the Family, so... Pretty
much. And I think CJ's podcast would be about pirates.
That's what I'm thinking, too. It's all about pirates. Maybe do something like Peter Pan themed or something.
Pretty much. Like, have CJ play the part as Captain Hook and Ronnie Ann play the part as Peter Pan.
That could be really cool.
Yes.
Actually, that would be really cool.
Yes.
So, what more did you learn about the Casa Grandes and their neighbors in this episode?
Well, I did learn about the history of podcasts.
Okay,
that's for sure.
Okay, that's Carlos always does that, though, so...
Actually, now that I think about it, you think we should rename the LoudCasa podcast to be LoudCasa Audio Block now?
Audio Block? What do you mean?
I mean, that's the original title of the podcast. It was Audio Block. Okay,
Carlos is pretty...
It's original name.
Carlos already is into Amit's brain right now.
Original name for it also had its roots dating back to the 1980s.
Why are you listening to Carlos? I'll get bored whenever I hear him talk. Oh my god.
I don't know. It's just his passion for knowledge that I do admire.
Right, so a fun fact about Omid, he likes Carlos. Well, you like Carlos X, so...
Specifically, I'm a fan of his voice actor.
Oh, Carlos Alasaki, yeah.
Rocco, Laszlo,
yeah.
Mr. Crocker.
Okay, yeah. We get it. He's a really amazing voice actor.
But in all seriousness, though, I did learn that Hector has his own band. Other than that, there's nothing really new about these characters that we haven't learned already about them when watching the actual show. However, I still enjoyed the podcast for the interactions. Mm-hmm. And we got to see each Casa Grande doing their own thing. Rather it be CJ and Carl doing Lucha Libre, or watching listen to Rosa cook, mm-hmm. or even Sergio stealing Bobby's phone, Sergio being a troll.
But that's Sergio. He always loves being a troll to Casa Grandes.
That's why we love him.
Have you seen Snack Pack?
Yes, Snack Packed. Oh man, Sergio was the Lola Loud of Snack Packed.
That could work, yeah. But the other thing too is that you also get to see an interaction with the neighbors. Mrs. Kornicki apparently loves
tennis.
It's not tennis. It's racquetball.
Racquetball, yeah.
Yeah, he loves racquetball, and apparently she'll play it all around the hallway, and will eventually hit the Casa Grandes. Obviously, and poor Bobby, he got hit with it.
Oh man. And of course, there was also Mr.
Nakamura.
Mr. Nakamura with Nelson.
Yeah,
I love Nelson the dog. He's so fun.
That's it. It's just the dog in that episode. You don't really listen much onto the other neighbors. Hopefully, they can actually talk more about the other neighbors in the next, Familia Sounds podcast. But we'll see. Are you excited about this podcast? Is it really good? How's your impressions on this first episode?
Honestly, just by the first episode alone, I already love it and I want more. I already want more of it.
You really want to sit podcast with 12 is Midnight?
That is my number one. It's my number one request.
Come on.
This Sid podcast.
All right, so that's pretty much all the basic recent news that has been popped up this last week. So let's head over to our main subject of tonight. All right, well, 2019 is almost over. In fact, we have less than 5 days, actually, until we have to say farewell to this year and welcome in a new year in 2020. Not only that, but a new decade as well. Omi, do you have any huge moments that you want to recall in 2019?
Well, 2019 was actually an interesting year. Of course, there were a few cons that I went to, and I went to see Hamilton the musical. That was fun. But
I'm so jealous of him going to Hamilton.
Yes. Hey, I'm a big musical theater fan, so I was bound to go someday. But, of course, the one that takes the cake, the best one of all, is our Japan trip.
Oh, dog. Yes.
Our Japan trip was so good.
Absolutely amazing.
It was amazing.
Okay, so seriously, only a week in Japan, and I really want to go back because I don't think we actually did enough in Japan.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's still so much that I want to explore.
What was your favorite part in Japan?
My two favorites are Tokyo Disney Sea and Akihabara.
Akihabara. You went to Akihabara like 3 days.
Yeah.
My cousin actually saw my pictures in Facebook, and he said, "Why did you go to Akihabara in 3 days?" And I'm like, "I like the arcade. I like the Wii stuff, anime stuff."
You and the crane games.
The other thing too is that there was a arcade with the Love Live characters on there. I'm like, "Give me a picture of it, please. I'll love it." Yeah, there was also a Love Live cafe which we never went to. We went to a maid cafe, which is really fun. But we also did go around the outskirts of Tokyo. We did go to Nakano. We went to other spots. I just never... It's not going up in my mind right now. But of course, Tokyo Disney Sea, that's the one spot that you really liked.
I loved it.
It's a really good theme park in Japan. If anybody goes to Japan, please visit Tokyo Disney Sea or Tokyo Disneyland itself. That whole resort is absolutely fun to, get into. Like, it's really better than Disneyland, to say.
Yep, high recommendation if you're a Disney fan like us.
Yep, definitely.
Definitely. And also, not only did we go to Tokyo, we went to Osaka as well.
Well, yeah, we went to Osaka, but we only went there for 2 days. We went to Osaka Castle, and we had a fun time there.
It was still really beautiful.
Oh, dude. Osaka Castle was actually really nice.
Oh, yeah, the sights, the sights.
You want to go to Denton Town and do some weep shit?
Count me in.
We did that, but we went to Denton Town. We went when it closed, so only thing that was open was the arcades, and we were already spending money on the arcades.
I want to go again.
I want figures. I want plushies. You did too, so... Yeah, don't talk about the money part. But anyways... But yeah...
The less said about that, the better.
Yeah, no doubt about it. 2019 was absolutely fun. We went to CRX, we went to Fanime, we went to Japan, obviously. That's a lot of our vacations. Well, since 2020 is in the horizon, we do want to talk about the best moments about our shows, The Loud House and the Casa Grandes. A fun fact, 34 episodes of The Loud House have aired. Granted that only 9 of those episodes are from the Loud House featuring the Casa Grandes, and also 10 episodes of the Casa Grandes. So... it didn't air a lot of Loud House and Casa Grande episodes like they did the previous years, but heck, it was enjoyable, don't you think?
Yeah, it's not really the quantity of the episodes that matter, it's the quality of the episodes that matter the most to me.
And I think each of them did pretty well. Some misses, but you know what? I still enjoyed how the Loud House and the Casa Grandes were showing this year, so... And
even then, like... the subpar ones, the weakest ones, were still okay episodes at best for me.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no bad... No Such Luck episode.
Or Brawl in the Family or Winner Takes All.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that, the subject, in an episode in the future. But anyways, so let's actually break down some of the best moments about these shows. Starting at the beginning of the year, on February 18th, the special Cooked came out, and this is the episode where Lin Senior's dream finally came into reality. He finally got his restaurant, and well. You got your restaurant, but there's also chaos that also ensues as well. So,
yes. No surprise. Given Big Family, given the Louds and chaos, It's really no surprise, right?
Well, here's the other thing, too, about this episode. This is pretty much the end point for Lin Sr. He was dreaming for this to happen. There's other episodes, in the previous seasons that said that he was, saving money. He quit his job to get this restaurant happening, and it was able to work out. So, first off, how do you feel about Lin Sr. finally having his restaurant? It's an achievement for him, that's for sure.
Oh, it's a great achievement for him. I feel that him getting his restaurant was bound to happen sooner or later. And I love that the previous episodes in the previous seasons were all building up to that moment. Like, I feel that Lin Sr. has his own complete character arc.
Yeah. So like I said, that story is ended. But the thing is, like, there's a story arc here. There's so many stories that we are following up on. Like, in the first season, you don't really have much storylines that have been going on. Season 2, 3, and 4, you're finally picking up some of the story that each character has. Lori going to college, Luna and Sam, Luann and Benny, all of these going on.
And also Ronnie Ann and Bobby moving out,
Yeah,
too.
Ronnie and Bobby moving out. So there's a lot of continuation in this, and we thought that continuation was not a thing in the Loud House. But here you go. There's already a continuation in the Loud House, so...
Yeah, continuity was one thing we've been asking for since Season 1 ended, and there you go. They listened to us.
Yeah, so they did. And, heck, we are good. Like, we have a good show right now. Loud House is actually doing well. Versus, like, the first and second season. Like, literally, the way I'm seeing it, the second season was not the best. But when Season 3 and 4 came out, that's when things got rolling and actually started to become, like, a really good story.
I agree. I fully agree with that.
So, yeah, Cook was a good episode. Anything else you want to discuss about the episode?
I thought the episode was really great. It was nice to see all of the Loud kids wanting to help their father achieve his dream in their own ways. But they pretty much have their own methods of doing so. Like, it's really funny, like Lincoln and Clyde making their own commercial.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I gotta say, yeah, that was a really good episode. I love the fact that the family still sticks together. Like, okay, we all have our differences when it comes to promoting a restaurant or anything like that, but heck, this is Dad's, dream, and we're kind of breaking it right now. We just want to make sure that we're all in this together and make sure our restaurant is kicking. And, of course, now Lynn's Table is now a staple in the Loud House now.
Yes, and I love that in the end, like, his menu has each of his kids' names named after it, like...
oh, yeah. No, so hamburgers? Really, Lenny?
Oh, God. Yeah. Yeah, when I think Loud, I think hamburgers, Lenny.
Okay.
Right.
So, yeah, really good episode. So, yeah, that started pretty much the year of the Loud House episodes. But let's actually move a little bit forward to March 5th, where Racing Hearts actually aired. Oh yeah, of course. So, of course. Yes, okay.
Yes.
So calm down. Seriously, calm down.
Sorry about that.
At last, the follow-up for Alice for Love is here. After Luna dropped off her love letter, it seems that it's all paying off. The build-up to this episode now has all of us in glee as their first date is here. Like, Luna and Sam are having their first date here. So, how do you think of the first date?
Oh, I loved it, of course. It was adorable. No bias at all. I found the episode very adorable because Saluna is my pairing, my OTP of the Loud House. I do love that not only do they go on their date, but also that these characters do learn something in the end. Like, it shows how even when you love someone, it turns out that they're not as similar to you as you may think. However, Luna and Sam do both learn to embrace each other's differences in order to have a good, healthy relationship in the end.
Well, the thing is that this is a first date, and usually first dates, sometimes kind of falter. And in this case that Luna and Sam had, it did falter because they really have no similarities with each other. But the whole the last part of the episode when they were cooking. That turned out to be a really cute moment because both of them actually had a fun time.
But they do have one thing in common. They have nada.
Oh my God. Don't
According to Lenny.
Don't pull a Lenny. Okay, so no doubt this definitely was an episode to remember as this was the first episode of the Loud House that definitely represented the LGBT community, and to me, this representation is absolutely great. It showed that even if they are a bisexual couple, the whole cast is okay with this. Like they're okay. Like if you look all around the cast, like Lori's okay with it, Lenny's okay with it, the whole family is okay with what Luna is deciding, loving Sam, and same with everybody around Royal Woods. This is a normal thing. Some people, of course, might get critical about it, but come on, this is a new era. Everybody should embrace that everyone's equal.
Yes, of course. I definitely agree. I mean, if they can accept the fact that Clyde's dads are gay, I think they can accept this as well.
Yeah, exactly. This is just a date between two characters, and yes, it's two same gender characters. I mean, if you thought that Clyde's dads were bad because they're two guys liking each other, then get the heck out of here.
Yeah, you're not welcome in this podcast anymore. Go away.
No, you're not allowed in this fandom. Go away.
Even better.
Yeah, because come on, you gotta embrace it. I mean, hey, I am a fan of Luna and Sam. I'm a fan of the Loud House after they revealed that Clyde's dads are gay, and no doubt about it, like, hey, we have huge representation, but the fact is that they have a huge representation of the LGBT community with a main character of the show, like Luna Loud in this case.
And that's what makes it beautiful. And it's so beautiful that it's my favorite character in the Loud House that has that representation. It makes me so proud. And like I said, like as a fan of the LGBT plus community, like I support LGBT rights. This one made me like the proudest fan.
Mm-hmm. I would say this though. This was actually one of the best date episodes that I've seen.
And I 100% agree, and it's 0% bias.
Yeah. Okay, good. But hopefully we'll see another episode of Luna and Sam soon. But
yes,
we have not seen much currently in season 4. Maybe like in the mid season 4, after season 4. Who knows?
Make more Luna episodes, please.
Not a lot. Not a lot. At least try to follow up on Luna and Sam, please.
A lot.
Okay. So let's move on to the day after March 5th, March 6th, because another episode came out and it was Stage Plight.
From one pairing to another, from one couple to
literally
another.
The day after literally the day after Racing Hearts, we were again hooked on another relationship that followed up from Ellis for Love, and that was Luann's crush with Benny.
Yes.
So, how did you feel about the episode representing Luann showing her love for Benny?
I found it not only cute, because Luann and Benny do have a lot in common, like theater, puppets, and everything. But it also shows how relatable it is to junior high and high school students, like young teenagers.
Yeah.
And how they feel insecure about their crushes, and sometimes they try to get out of it. Sometimes they try to approach it, but the thing is, due to their insecurities, they make it unintentionally awkward.
Yeah, I feel it that way. But the way that Luann get represented in the episode was kind of weird. I mean, like, I understand Luann is just so shy that she'll always try to hide her first kiss with Benny. But the other thing, too, is that I find it cute that Luann and Benny were really hitting it off when they were just not on stage.
Yeah, and also, I do love how Mr. Coconuts does contribute to the episode, because he actually, since Luann does control Mr. Coconuts kind of represents Luann's go-getter side. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was supposed to be like a wingman to Luann, right?
Yeah, him being a wingman to Luann is essential, because Mr. Coconuts does represent a part of Luann that she wishes that she had herself.
Yeah. So no doubt about it, this episode really made this couple a plus for me. Like, okay, I only saw those two in Ellis for Love, and, they were just having fun. But knowing that there was a follow-up episode with Luann and Benny, I realized this couple is absolutely cute. Like, they are meant for each other. Like, literally, they are meant for each other. Benny's a good boy. Benny's a good boy. He's a good boy. I mean, I cannot hate him or anything like that. He's like, what? Wholesome or precious. I cannot.
He's innocent.
Yeah, he's innocent. And the other thing too is that Benny likes puppets. Luann likes puppets. Benny likes comedy. Luann likes comedy. Obviously,
they're perfect for each other.
Exactly, they're perfect for each other. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I am freaking out because I do love Luann and Benny. Like, this OTP. This is a real OTP, and I really hope they don't break up because it's gonna suck if that happens.
Mr. Coconuts and Mrs. Apple Blossom are a cute ship also. I ship them as well.
Oh, and they also said here that you were waiting for other episodes of other Loud crushes.
Yes. Since Benny was fleshed out in Stage Flight, I feel I want more crushes, more Loud crushes from L is for Love to have their own share of screen time as well, and to have their own dialogue as well. Like, I want to see Chaz, Winston, Francisco. Not Silas. He can go.
You want Rocky? You like Rocky?
Silas could go bury himself in a hole. Okay. Lucy and Rocky was precious.
Okay. Oh, yes, it was. Silas. Oh, come on. Okay. I get it. Yes, I get it. Black and Black was a really good episode because Lucy finally showed affection to a guy that's not goth.
Yes, and that's what made it good. Opposites attract.
See, that works. And actually, I do like Rocky too, to be honest.
Rocky actually has a personality.
Although I gotta say this though, for all of those relationships that come up, I do not think Winston and Lola are gonna happen.
We shall see. You never know. Keep in mind, we didn't think we were going to see Benny. We did think we were going to see Sam somewhat after Alice for Love. We never thought we were going to see Benny, though.
Yeah, but that's true.
But thankfully we did.
Yeah,
so it could happen.
Well, the other thing, too, is that Luann needed some more character, and I love it. Just the fact that she's in love now.
Yeah, I do admire that they show more character of Luann. Like, she's more of a character than just being just some comedian pun machine.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's move on after Stage Flight. Because we really much didn't have much episodes until May. But before those new episodes came out, in May, a big announcement actually happened during that month. On May 5th, we did not see this coming, but after so many years in animation, the Louds finally won an Emmy.
Yes! Oh god, yes!
So the Loud House finally won a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing in a Children's Animated Program, and the best one of all, Outstanding Children's Animated Program, which technically means that they were the best cartoon.
Yes.
The best children's cartoon. An achievement that really any person that works in animation really wants. And that, of course, was a big achievement for the Loud House, that's for sure.
Yes, an Emmy is big.
Not a Kids' Choice Award.
It's much bigger than Kids' Choice Award. You don't have to... You don't have to complain about Kids' Choice Award anymore because we got something that's more important.
Yes, indeed. So when you heard about the Emmy win, how was your initial reaction to it?
Oh god, I was absolutely happy. I was so proud. Oh my gosh. It really does show how the series has come so far and how much it has accomplished in terms of not just accolades but also of quality. Due to its wonderful stories, vivid animation, and wonderful, relatable, and creative characters, and also, most importantly, the inclusion. I do say that the Emmy is very well deserved, and I am proud to be a co-admin of an award-winning show.
We're a co-admin for a fan page of a fan page of a award-winning show. So I gotta say, it was really amazing to get the news. First off, we never saw that coming, right? You really didn't see that they were going to win an Emmy, right?
Well, actually, it was between this and Hilda. Hilda was tough competition. By the way, I do love Hilda. It's such a great show.
So that's why they're nominated for an Emmy.
It's just my personal recommendation because I've watched it myself.
But yeah, I never thought it coming. I just saw it on Twitter, and somebody posted it up, and I was like, really? This happened? So... immediately, I was retweeting every freaking thing. Sammy Crowley's award win, Brian Stepanik's award win, everybody pretty much from the writers to the cast to everybody that was a part of the Loud House. I pretty much went through a spree, and everybody was absolutely happy about it. And the other thing, too, is that they have it now at Nick Studios, so, they're going to be loud and proud for that, that's for sure.
Yes. Yeah, believe me, social media was blowing up everywhere about it.
I know that.
And for good reason.
So, because of these Emmys, are you convinced this show is going to last long?
While I don't think it will go necessarily as long as SpongeBob or, God forbid, The Simpsons, I do think it has potential to last at least 7 to 8 seasons. I do feel that maybe in the last 2 seasons, it may or may not have a time skip sort of like Steven Universe had its own time skip series.
Okay.
So, in the Loud House future,
we are in the future.
Oh god, yeah. I'm actually intrigued to see a time skip Loud House happening.
Like them. Well, I mean, season 5 is technically would be a time skip episode. They do grow up.
True that, and by the time that happens, well, we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later. All right, so in that same month, with the Emmy wins, the end of the month actually premiered their season 4 of The Loud House. But it was weird because the Casa Grandes were actually running the show. And the first special came out, which is Friended with the Casa Grandes. 2 months later, Casa Grandes took over the Loud House with a couple episodes, and this is the first episode of the whole block, or the arc, that I could say. It was special that introduced Ronnie Ann into the city, and her new best friend, Sid Chang.
Yes!
So, now you and me, Omid, can you agree on this? Sid is the best. Okay, you and your pigeons. So she loves K-pop, she's adorable, she has such a great friend to Ronnie Ann. She came out of the special and grabbed so much attention.
Yes.
Right? Like, everybody really loved Sid Chang.
Yes, including myself.
So it was weird because, like, you never expected that she was actually going to come because, you already have an introduction about the Casa Grandes with City Slickers and The Spies Who Loved Me. Then you have the Friended episode, and that's when it all comes apart. It's like, oh, there's this new girl. Oh, okay, how is she going to be with Ronnie Ann? Apparently it's perfect to each other, right?
Yeah.
So, what were your initial thoughts on Sid Chang?
Oh, I immediately loved her. And the love I have for her kept on increasing the more I watched her. She really is one of my favorite characters, not just Casa Grandes, but also the entire LoudCasa universe. And she's so energetic, she's so free-spirited, she's so cool, she's a huge fan of K-pop, and she's trendy in a good sort of way. Yeah, and also, like you pointed out earlier, she's a really good friend and help to Ronnie Ann. Yeah, I really adore Sid Chang, and I actually want episodes that mainly feature her, like the Sid-centric episodes.
You know what? There could be possibilities. I mean, if you see the Loud House, there was some Clyde-related episodes. You saw a Stella episode recently.
Yeah.
So I will not be surprised if we can have a Sid-centered episode soon with the Casa Grandes.
Make one right now.
It'll happen. Yeah, just give him some more time to character develop her. We'll see.
Do that.
But I absolutely love her. She's a great character. That's all I can say. How about the episode overall? It was supposed to be Ronnie Ann's first episode on how she's living in the big city, and I think it really worked.
I think it did too. When I think of Friended, I think this episode was a great introduction to the Great Lakes City environment and its residents. Relative Chaos was a character introduction to the Casa Grandes. Mm-hmm. But Friended was a setting introduction.
I think it's just more with Ronnie Ann, just because we're focusing on her and we're making sure that she's okay in the big city, which she is.
True that. Like I said, Relative Chaos mainly featured Ronnie Ann and her interactions with the characters of the Casa Grandes, whereas Friended, Ronnie Ann was mainly interacting with the Great Lakes City environment and all the rest of the other residents other than the Casa Grandes is what I like to think of it.
I would say if you're trying to relate Friended with Relative Chaos, I would say Relative Chaos is just more towards Bobby and Ronnie Ann getting a setting into the city, but this is now, hey, we already saw you over a year in the big city. It looks like you're now settling in. This is now your last story here in the big city for Ronnie Ann and Bobby, because of course they moved out of Royal Woods. Now that they're in a new city, this is how it's going to begin.
Yeah, pretty much. And this episode did a great job of showing us where Ronnie Ann is living now, and pretty much showing us showing us all the good stuff that's around Great Lakes City, the Great Lakes City special, the hot dogs.
Yeah.
With all the works.
Okay. So, of course, this is just a Loud House featuring the Casa Grandes episode. The Casa Grandes are coming up in a couple of months. when you were watching Friended with the Casa Grandes, did it get you into the Casa Grandes a little bit more?
Even before that, even before Friended, I was already hyped for a Casa Grande spinoff. And the more I watched it, the more impressed I was, not only by how amazing it was, but also how the spinoff actually lived up to its original series.
Okay.
Ever since Relative Chaos, I've always wanted a Casa Grande spinoff, and thankfully I got that wish, and it lived up to my expectations, maybe even exceeded it.
I was thinking, because of Relative Chaos, that everybody was thinking that there would be a Casa Grande spinoff. And lo and behold, we have it now.
Yep. They answered our prayers.
Yeah. So let's actually fast forward to the premiere of the Casa Grandes, actually. October 14th of 2019, the Casa Grandes have debuted, and I know the talk, there have been so many doubters that thought there was going to be a bad episode. To me, you all are wrong. I feel that this episode was absolutely great, the way they premiered the Casa Grandes. There's so many doubters out there. The debut was really good, in my opinion. A character building episode with Carlos, Ronnie and Sid talking about jobs, walking dogs, and as a young person in the city, they'll do anything for money, which makes sense. I mean, everybody who's young will have to always try to get something to get the money. I mean, 90% of people probably agree on that little statement.
Look at Ed and Eddie.
Yeah, we want those jawbreakers.
Yeah.
So, what were your thoughts about the debut of the Casa Grandes?
Going Overboard was a well-done episode. It showed a side of a certain Casa Grande that we don't really expect from a character like this. Mm-hmm. Carlos being a skateboarder and being Carlos' ex. That's awesome. That is freaking awesome. That is some good character writing right there.
Well, the other thing, too, is that you never expect Carlos, because he's just a genius, you never expect him to actually have a really awesome, past.
Yeah, like you never expect a book nerd to have such a rockin' skater style, Right. It's just, you never expected me Tony Hawk.
Yeah, exactly.
There you are.
There you go.
That's some good character writing, like I said. As for Walk Don't Run, I liked it, but didn't necessarily love it. I consider it one of the more weaker Casa Grande episodes, but I still enjoyed it.
I still say that's a pretty good episode, just because, hey, this is more of Sid and Ronnie Ann living in the city, and of course having the problems in the city with the freaking cat problem, which we saw in Relative Chaos.
Sid fangirling, though, was always a treat to watch.
You just love to see
Yes.
her into K-pop. This is dreamy. Oh god, Yung Kwang. If we can ever see a real life person if we could see Yung Kwang in the Casa Grandes, I don't know what Sid is gonna do.
She'll be like.
No, it's like, no, she'll be like, or something.
No, she wouldn't be Troy from Community. She would be like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think about that look that you just did to me, but anyways.
I'm trying to do Troy, but failing at that.
So, did it make you want to watch more of the show?
Yes. Sí, amigo, sí.
Sí, so that's it. That's just a yes.
Sí. It's Casa Grandes.
Yeah. So, Casa Grandes have premiered in October. We've only had 10 episodes so far. We have heard that there are going to be new episodes coming in January, so get ready for those. And when we come back soon on our, LoudCasa talks later, we will be talking about those episodes soon.
Yep, and hopefully the new episodes, the new episodes that have the titles, hopefully they'll have summary soon, mm-hmm. so we can find out, so we can discuss how we think that it's going to go.
Yeah,
the predictions.
All right, so those were some of the highlights of the Loud House and the Casa Grande. So let's now go and talk about some other highlights of 2019 that we could just talk for a little bit, since we're kind of already over 40 minutes into this podcast. But hey,
this is our big podcast, though.
I mean, yeah, we're running down 2019. There's a lot to go for, so let's run it down with other snippets that we can actually discuss. First off, Lori Loud, Driving Ambition. From that episode, I already know that she's already going to go into Ferry University with a golf scholarship. Her future is pretty much set. We already saw Lori try to be a mom with 11 kids. I'm like, okay, Bobby's getting busy.
Or so a second mom in a sense.
So technically, she's second. She's a what is it?
Eldest sister.
She's her eldest sister, and she's trying to run the same route like Rita did. So
true that.
Yeah.
It turns out that Lynn Sr. is not the only one who has a built up character arc of his own.
That's true, yeah. See, I mean, Lori's story is going to be good. My prediction about Lori, though, we've seen her now. She's going to college, and she's going to go to a university that's close to the city, which is, where the Casa Grandes are. And eventually Lori's going to leave the Loud House. That's what I'm thinking. My prediction right now is that Lori might leave the Loud House. And, good for her, because she's going to be in college. And she might possibly, be in the Casa Grandes or have her own spin-off show about her college years, which I don't think is going to happen, but...
Yeah, I honestly don't. I think if anything, she'll move with the Casa Grandes and she'll play the part of being the Bobby in a sense. Like, she'll play the same role in Casa Grandes that Bobby did in Loud House, which is pretty much the love interest.
So, do you want to share your thoughts on Lori's college prep?
Well... I actually do think that it's very well built up, and I do love that Driving Ambition and Can't Hardly Wait do a great job in building up Lori's upcoming character arc about her going to college. I do anticipate for more relating to that college prep story arc. I do think we already knew it was going to happen sooner or later because, well, let's face it, Lori Loud is 17, and technically... 17 is sort of like a year to be prepping for college. I mean, look at how 17-year-olds have to get ready for SATs and all that stuff. Honestly, the way I see it work is that I could see her leaving college either in the series finale of The Loud House, or I could see her leaving like in a season finale before we get to a time skip season. In a way, it would sort of remind me of how Andy said goodbye to his toys in Toy Story 3. It would be like that, like the Loud House is going to have a Toy Story 3 moment.
I kind of feel that too. Like, all of her siblings are going to say goodbye to her, like outside of the front porch.
Like, while it's going to be sad to see one go, the memories and the love will always be there.
Definitely, yeah. All right, so hopefully Lori will see more of Lori's college prep as she gets ready to move into a new college when more of the season 4 episodes come out. So let's actually move into another episode of the Casa Grandes actually, and one that we never thought about, an episode that actually tackles death, and that was Crooked.
Yes.
The first time the Loud House or Casa Grandes ever talked about this topic, and I believe the Casa Grandes did it right, and I felt. They represented Dia de los Muertos, which is a Mexican holiday that they all celebrate every year, and they did it really well. Like how they represented it, how they made, somebody who's new, like Adelaide in this case, know about this holiday. That it's not supposed to be all about sorrow, but it's all about celebrating. That your family's still there. He might be gone, but your spirit, the spirit and the love is still, with them, that's for sure.
They tackle it with such respect. Like, it is so respectful.
So I like it. I like the whole concept of having a person who doesn't know about Dia de los Muertos know about it. Like Adelaide in this case.
Yeah, it's fitting for Adelaide to learn this lesson given that she is around 6 years old. And so it is natural that she doesn't quite grasp the meaning of death in a sense. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that it was being taught to her by the Dia de los Muertos expert herself, Rosa.
Yes. So what did you think about the episode actually?
Oh, I absolutely adored it. It's the most mature episode I've seen of not just the Casa Grandes, but also the entire LoudCasa universe as well. It already outranks most of the Loud House episodes also. It is that good. I love how mature and respectful the episode is when it tackles a serious subject such as death. Like, they really do pull it off in flying colors. And I feel that it made much more sense for Casa Grandes to tackle this rather than the Loud House. Whereas the Loud House if the Loud House did it, it would feel a bit more awkward. Whereas with the Casa Grandes, they are a big Mexican family and they do celebrate Dia de los Muertos, so it was much more fitting that they do it there.
I think, to be honest, this episode was actually one of the best, the best episode of the Casa Grande so far in 2019.
Yes, it is. I definitely agree.
I would actually agree too.
Yeah.
Unless you want to call Friended with the Casa Grandes a Casa Grande episode, but it's technically a Loud House featuring the Casa Grandes episode.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure I would count the with the Casa Grandes episodes under the Loud House name. Would you count it?
I would technically, because it's all about the Casa Grandes in that episode. So
maybe it's debatable.
I still say Crooked is a good episode. So
it's the best one, even if you include the with the Casa Grandes episodes.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to another significant episode that came out actually recently, A Pimple Plan. The episode where we followed up with Luann and Benny, and they actually go on their first date together.
Ooh.
So just like Luna and Sam, we're now following up with Luann and Benny this time.
So think of it as the Racing Hearts of Luann episodes.
There you go. So you know the whole story. Luann and Benny's first date. Luann is just embarrassed that she has a pimple in her face, and she's trying to hide it as much as possible so that Benny doesn't see the huge zit that she has.
The poor thing.
Yeah. But I love how it is kind of ridiculous, because Luann just tries her best to hide it, putting a horse mask on, putting makeup, putting a lot of things to try to cover it up, even clown makeup as well. But yeah, it was actually a pretty good episode. No doubt about it. Benny doesn't care about pimples, and I say that again. Benny's a really good boy.
Of course.
I cannot stress it enough. He's a really good guy. Please don't break him up.
You'll never find a man like that again, Luann.
Seriously, don't let Benny go. Please don't let Benny go.
There'll never be another man like Benny. I'm just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Except maybe Bobby, but
do you want to share?
But Bobby is Lori's, but still, they're nice guys.
Do you want to share your thoughts on A Pimple Plan?
Well, I felt bad for Luann that she had to go through so much and to even hide from her crush because of her insecurities. One insecurity this time being puberty, and how pimples are being caused by puberty. Although I was agreeing with Lori that pimple or no pimple, Benny will still love her no matter what, and the ending did prove both me and Lori right. What really got me engaged was all these different antics that Luann had to go through in order to either hide her pimple or make the pimple go away. Like her jogging and exercising in the bathroom, or having the makeover, which is to cover the pimple, being done by our good boy Miguel.
Oh, by the way, I love Miguel.
It was nice to see Miguel again.
Yeah, but the other thing, I mean, I'm not homo or anything, but he's a good boy that I would like to, hang out with. I would like to hang out with Miguel, any day. He looks like he's a really cool guy.
I would consider him a good friend.
Yeah. Pretty
much. And I do like how Miguel is willing to help the sister of his friend. So that's another thing. So it's when we get to the actual date itself that we see the core elements of Luann's insecurities, such as her hiding from Benny, such as her having to lie to him, and also her having to even confess to having her pimple, and thinking that he might dump her when in actuality he's much better than that. Benny's a much better guy than that.
How about the ending though, with Apple Blossom and Coconuts together?
They're a good ship. Mr. Coconuts and Apple Blossom are a good ship. I even say they're a better ship than any of Lincoln's other ships.
I'm going there. I'm going there. Hey, Stella. hey, Stella Cut is still my ship.
even
Roddy Kid. We're getting on that now.
It's puppet love. It's always adorable.
Okay, so you're comparing Lincoln lovers to puppet lovers, and apparently puppet lovers are better than Lincoln lovers.
Well, the thing is that all these Lincoln ships are pretty much the main topic in terms of Loud House talks in social media. So of course I had to bring it up.
Okay, all right.
I'm just busting with you.
You know what though? We gotta actually move into that subject of Lincoln ships and talk about another episode that popped up in the Casa Grandes, the Horoscope, which was absolutely a huge ride for all Ronnie Ann and Lincoln fans. It seems like Ronnie Ann thought that Lincoln was going to ask him out and all that kind of stuff, and everything was all there, and I thought that it was actually going to happen, the OTP thing. So, no doubt about it. It was a really cool ride to actually ride through what was going on in that episode, because I thought that Lincoln was actually going to do it and actually propose to her. And I was like, yeah, you're on one knee. What the fuck? You're bringing out a ring. What's happening here?
Yeah, it was all building up to the moment we thought was going to happen, but in actuality, it was something else.
Okay, yeah, I get it, but I'm a fan of Ronniekin. I can't say it much. I was like squeeing every freaking time that she thinks back to the psychic.
Oh wow,
Destino, you got this giant. I love it though. It was a great episode. How about you? What are your thoughts on that one?
First of all, really great cameo by George Lopez.
Yeah, George Lopez.
George Lopez really nails that role. He nails that role. And as for the episode itself, I thought it was really engaging. I actually didn't really expect them to actually be a couple, but it was really fun to see the characters around Ronnie Ann, like her family, sort of like thinking this was going to be the moment.
Yeah, especially Rosa.
Yeah, it was not, Rosa is one huge Ronnie-kun shipper. Like she's the biggest Ronnie-kun shipper I know.
Everybody will all agree that they're all Ronnie-kun shippers.
Well, Rosa and Sunny both, right?
Tops out to my girl Sunny.
Shout out to Sunny. Hey Sunny, you and Rosa have something in common.
FYI, we're totally love Ronnie-kun. I mean, I love Ronnie-kun. I don't know about you.
Ronnie-kun's a nice ship.
I just like the fact that it teased all Ronnie-kun fans. I'm like, oh my god, it's gonna happen, and then of course it let down because she was just putting up a magic trick. Still though, it's really cool chemistry.
I mean, I sort of see them as friends because they live far from each other, and technically both their siblings are already in a relationship. But
why not have Bobby and Lori or a thing? Why not have Ronnie-kun and Lincoln have a thing?
However, I do love all the fan art, and I love the passion that goes into the Ronnie-kun shippers. Mm-hmm. I respect that a whole lot.
All right, Stellakin. I'm still crossing my fingers on that.
And it was nice to see Ronnie Ann, Lincoln, and Sid all hanging out with each other. Like, we got to see Lincoln meeting Sid for the first time. And I was thinking to myself, okay, Lincoln, next time you come to Great Lake City, please bring Clyde with you so that you can hook Clyde and Sid up.
Oh, really? You want to have Slide?
Slide could work. Like, I could see Slide work, actually. Because they technically are the best friends of the main characters.
I mean, it's early. I mean, I can't see Sid and Clyde together, but, we'll see how it goes. All right. Any other episodes that you want to discuss on 2019?
Tales of Woe.
Oh yes, the Stella Kid episode.
We're gonna talk about
the Stella episode. Wow, my girl. What about my girl?
So pretty much, she got her chance to shine in that episode.
I love it. No, I love it. Yeah, I love how Stella. Well, she was a leader of that group. Like, okay, you've seen Clyde lead the group sometimes. You've seen other friends lead the group, mostly Lincoln. But then, out of the bloom, you never saw Stella be the one person to be like, "Hey, you do this, you do that. Hey, I want to get my ornament back." And I'm like, this is awesome. I can't believe she's an awesome girl.
Oh my god, like she when she takes charge, she really takes charge.
I love it. I can't say much. I love it. I'm a Stella fan, and I'm huge on top of that, that's for sure.
I love Stella also. She's such a fun character, and she's actually my favorite of Lincoln's inner circle.
Nice.
Well, actually, maybe besides Lincoln himself, if you don't count Lincoln, if you just count Lincoln's friends in Lincoln's inner circle, I would say Stella's my favorite one.
I would say, well, obviously she's my favorite, so I can't say much. Stella is the best out of them. Forget you, Clyde. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like I said, he's mad to me, but still.
Anything else? Other episodes that you want to discuss?
Nothing that particular that comes to mind. I just wanted to bring up Tales of Woe because I know that you really want to talk about that episode.
So I actually do want to bring one more episode up, and that's Leader of the Rack. And that's more towards Lenny having a story also. And that's because, she started working at Ridingers. and she began as a salesperson, now turned into a manager and leader of the rack, and I kind of feel like she's becoming that CEO that everyone's envisioning, because she's leading people, she's managing them, she's turning out to be a really good coworker for every person out there, and I feel like this is kind of her job. And the way that the story is portraying for Lenny is that it's going to be leading towards something big in the end. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I feel that too. She actually did a good job in being a temporary manager.
Yeah.
And especially when she made work fun for her friends, she would call it like funager. But then when things get really hectic, she had no choice but to call over Miguel and Fiona. And it really shows how when you're in trouble or when you need help, you gotta depend on your friends who are also your coworkers. Mm-hmm. Like even if it kind of breaks their hearts, even if they have to get out of having their dumplings, like time is of the essence,
Yeah.
Guys. Yeah.
So, all right, cool. That's all I could discuss about the episodes. To be honest, 2019 has been a pretty fun ride. We had a lot of good moments from the Casa Grandes and the Loud House. But let's wrap it up because we're about over an hour now in this podcast. So let's finalize with one final question. What was your favorite episode of the Loud House?
Racing Hearts.
Okay.
Racing Hearts.
That was. I kind of saw that coming.
Who didn't see that coming, huh? If you didn't see that coming, you don't know me very well. Okay, yeah. I'm just saying.
If I'm going to say for my favorite Loud House episode, that would be Tales of Woe, and that's just a little biased there, just because it's a Stella episode. But I do like Tales of Woe. That was a really good. Episode.
And the reason for mine is totally not biased, like at all.
And Can't Hardly Wait. I really do like that episode just because it's a Lori follow-up after her going to college. Now she's working at Lynn's table as a manager now, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it really does fit. I feel that Lori is fit to be manager, considering how she herself manages her siblings. So she's sort of a manager of the sibling group as well.
There's a lot of good episodes in this one. I just wanted to pick out those two just because those two are really memorable for me. Then again, I love Stella and Lori, so
yeah, they're your top two.
Yep. How about your Casa Grandes? What was your favorite episode of the Casa Grandes?
Croaked, hands down.
I would say the same thing.
Croaked.
Yeah,
hands down.
Unless you want to bring Friended in, but Croaked is the only Casa Grandes episode.
Croaked still beats Friended.
What's crazy though? They had like a whole 24-hour marathon of that episode, and I mean, I was listening to it all the time during YouTube, and yeah, I mean, I couldn't stop watching it. It was just like, oh, this is really good because we're trying to tackle death.
Yeah, Croaked. I watched that episode. During that stream, I watched it like 8 or 10 times in a row.
Oh, I remember.
I adored it.
I remember just listening to it, just having it on my headphones while working, and I was like, "Oh, working. Oh, I'm listening to Ronnie Ann and Sid also talk at the same time." But yeah, it was a pretty good. No doubt about it. It was a pretty good 2019. Now that 2020 is about to come upon us, we hope that everything will be working out well for the Loud House and the Casa Grandes. Definitely, I think that we're going to be looking at really good episodes coming out.
I definitely agree.
And we'll just wait until then.
Pretty much.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up our podcast. I do want to let you all know that you want to subscribe to our podcast. Please follow us on all of our podcast providers. Apple Podcast, Anchor, and Spotify. So you can listen to all of our episodes that that are on right now. We also do have a video episode. We also do have a video version of this podcast also on YouTube. So if you want to visit our YouTube page, you can also watch that as well. We also, just a little heads up right now, we are going to take a 2-week break the other thing too is that we're busy. New Year's is coming up on Wednesday, and I have a con to go to the Wednesday after that. So,
but before we wrap things up, we just want to wish a special someone a happy birthday.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's a happy birthday to the main admin of the fan page of the Loud House, the main man who made it all happen, Mr. Nate Natividad.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh man, you must be excited.
I'm
man.
actually pretty excited, and although it's weird that I'm gonna say I'm 30 years old, but
that's a new milestone, man.
Like, I mean, it's a milestone, yes. But I do want to say thank you all for making this happen, making our fan page become so popular and everything. it's definitely thanks to you fans that I'm still running here, and I'm still making sure this fan page is still the best fan page of the Loud House and the Casa Grande is, as best as we can. I know everybody else can say a lot of stuff about our Loud House and the Casa Grandes with their fandoms and all that kind of stuff, but we're still committed to it. No matter what, we're still committed to it, and it's thanks to you guys, all the best fans out there. Thank you very much.
Nate may have started it all, but you guys are the ones who continue to make it happen for us, and we thank you for it.
Yeah. I mean, that's coming up in January 2nd. So
yeah.
I still gotta plan my birthday stuff, too.
It's pretty much a day after New Year's Day.
How's it feel? Huh?
How's it feel? Like, it's a day after New Year's Day, so technically you've got like 3 days in a row celebrating.
I mean, I had Christmas already, and then the week after that I have my birthday, so I think I have 2 celebrations at once. And it's actually just a fun week, like me going all the way down to LA for Anime Los Angeles. By the way, if you're going to Anime Los Angeles, remember we got some ribbons for you for Loud House and Casa Grande fans.
I already have them here already.
Yeah, I see it right there. Yep, they're all printed out.
Right here, right.
They're all printed out and they're ready to be distributed. So come to Anime Los Angeles if you can. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait. Definitely going to be a really awesome 2 weeks. So that's also another thing too why we have this hiatus, just because we want to rest up for our next upcoming episodes we're going to plan out. And also, FYI, if you have an idea for a podcast for an episode of a podcast that you want us to tackle, please write it down in the comments or just message us on Twitter or on Facebook, and we'll be happy to accept your idea and possibly put it on a podcast episode coming up.
Yes, please do. The more ideas, the better.
Yeah, definitely.
Pretty much.
Anyways, thank you very much for listening into this 1 hour long podcast episode. I mean, we have to tackle what happened in 2019. There's a lot to do.
Oh yeah, it was eventful for us both.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that we're actually live here, just sitting next to each other on a microphone, just talking. So
definitely, it keeps the bond real.
Oh yeah,
a bond between admins, like when we're next to each other, the bond feels much more real than when we do it wirelessly.
Yeah, I mean the wireless connection. We already hear from the previous podcast episodes that is always bad. So we try our best to hang out together and be able to do a podcast together like live.
Definitely.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for now. Thank you very much for listening. My name is Nate.
And my name is Omid.
And thank you very much for listening to this episode of the Loud Casa Talks. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys in 2020, dudes.